What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me. So, I'm currently reacting to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've never seen it before. I'm on part 4, and what I like to do is, after every couple of episodes, I like to review things from a writer's point of view. I talk about characters, setting, symbolism, colors. I'll even bring up historical facts. Seems like there's a sequel, something called Steel Ball Run. I'm excited about this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to the trailer. Then afterwards, I'm going to break it down, talk about things we've seen in the trailer, and talk about what we can possibly expect to see based on what we saw in the trailer. So, I'm excited to see what we're in for. Let's go!
これよりスティールボールランレースの開会を宣言する
Alright. Steel Ball Run. Ooh!
絶対に突き止めてやる。もう一度馬に乗ってやる。レースで優勝しなきゃなんでな。よ。
What the what?
残された足だけが勝者の条件となる。
このレースの勝者はこの世のヒーローになるわ。
世界中の誰もが体験したことのない競技大会となるだろう。
この物語は僕が歩き出す物語だ。
Alright, alright. Short trailer, pretty interesting. 2026. Wow, that's next year. Very interesting trailer. A little short for my taste, but let's get into it. Alright, so we have a green steel ball. So this guy here, I'm going to assume this is Zeppeli. I think this is the guy who had a gold grill with Zeppeli written on it. Like, I'm on part 4, so I'm afraid to actually do any type of research on what this is about for fear of spoilers. So I ask that you please leave all spoilers outside the door. Alright, with that said, this guy, I'm assuming he's a Zeppeli. He's hitting some guy with the steel ball. It's interesting that the colors are all red. Or, it's not all red. It seems to be a sunset, but it's a lot of red. Red seems to be the dominant color. Red symbolizes danger, and with green, green can symbolize a lot of things like health, renewal, even life. So this, if I had to guess, this is him making a determination to live and not get caught up in some kind of trap. Again, I'm guessing this based on what's happening here. I see some people in the background. I don't know if those are gangsters or just civilians. It looks like, I'm gonna guess these are civilians. But in either case, he wants to live, this Zeppeli guy. This definitely has to be our Joestar here. He has a blue-shaped clover on his right shoulder. I used to think those were hearts until part 3. That's definitely a clover, and clover symbolizes luck. Luck, Joestars, they're all related. It's interesting that he's paralyzed, so we're probably going to get some character conflict with that. And he says some interesting things in this trailer. Where is it? This is the story of how I began to walk. I'm guessing he's going to win the race. It's going to be a lot of turmoil, a lot of conflict. He's probably going to be upset at some parts because he can't walk, and he's going to rely on his horse. And again, I'm not sure what else based on this 48 seconds, but there has to be, I'm assuming there's going to be at some part that he's going to lose his horse and he's going to have to crawl somewhere, and he's going to rely on himself, and this is going to be some character drama. And now this guy, he looks like something out of a western, but it says Go-Go Zeppeli, so he's definitely going to be a Zeppeli, a relative. I'm assuming he's going to link up with this JoJo. I don't think they said his name. I don't think they said anyone's name, but we'll call him JoJo. But I'm assuming JoJo and Zeppeli, I'm assuming they're going to partner up. Probably in the beginning or probably somewhere in the middle. Probably similar to part 2 with Joseph and with Caesar. How they partnered up a few episodes later. So it's probably going to be the same thing here. Again, I'm just guessing. Let's see what else we got. Dude. I just stopped it with the guy in the blue. He just put on his hat. I know good and well it says Dio. Nah, man, nah. Alright, hold on. It says Dio. When does this story take place? Alright, cause okay. End of part 1, Dio was trapped at the end of part 1. Alright, so there's no way he got out of his coffin to go race. So is this? I don't know. Okay. This has me right here. I have no idea. This says Dio. It says Dio on the hat. And that looks like Dio. The eyes and everything, he just has he doesn't have blonde hair. Okay, so this is going to be our Dio. Oh goodness. I don't know. Should I watch the remaining series and then watch this? Because this takes place in the past. It has to. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Okay. Is this a clone? Is this a relative? Maybe Dio. Ah, goodness. I don't know. I can't really speak on this. I can't believe it says Dio. So this better not be Dio that we've come to know. The one that was defeated in part 3? Alright, I don't know. Right now, I'm going to... I can't even say he came out of his coffin to go race, because that wouldn't even make sense. He was ahead. And he looks different. This is not the same Dio. Alright, I got nothing on this one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. If I keep going, I'm gonna be at this all night. With this, it's called Steel Ball Run. It seems to be a play on Cannonball Run. So based on this, we're getting a horse race across America. As far as I know, there was not actually a horse race across America in real life, but there has actually been a Cannonball Run, which is cars racing across America. A man named Erwin George Baker, whom everyone knew as Cannonball Baker, set the coast-to-coast record for driving a car across the country from New York to Los Angeles in 1933. Baker spent the majority of his career prepping for it by riding transcontinentally on a motorcycle. At the time, the roads he drove were entirely unpaved. In 1971, 38 years after Baker's unofficial record, Brock Yates made the race a household name. He called it the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash. Yates, the senior editor for Car and Driver magazine at the time, Brock Yates Jr., Steve Smith, and Jim Williams set out from New York City in a 1971 Dodge Custom Sportsman van known as Moon Trash 2. So eventually there were unsanctioned street races. In a March 1972 Car and Driver feature, Yates said that the parameters of the Cannonball Run were as follows. All competitors will drive any vehicle of their choosing over any route at any speed they judge practical between the starting point and destination. The competitor finishing with the lowest elapsed time is the winner. If I had to guess, Steel Ball Run is probably going to take inspiration from Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run is exactly about that. Racers participating in the Cannonball Run. You have actors like Burt Reynolds, Jackie Chan, Roger Moore. It's a movie worth checking out. But if you enjoyed this reaction, check out my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions. I'll link it up here somewhere. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Take it easy.